Well, for more on Connor Bedard's debut, as promised, here is our NHL analyst, Dave Poulin. Dave, Bedard finishes with an assist in over 20 minutes of game action. 3 for 12 in the face-off circle. Maybe that's to be expected. What was your biggest takeaway from his first real NHL action?
How comfortable he looked tonight, Jay. He was undaunted going into a building in which, by the way, Letang, Crosby and Malkin were playing at the start of their 18th year together with a team that's won 3 Stanley Cups. They've added Erik Karlsson, who won 3 Norris trophies, and yet the kid was totally unfazed by it. And you could tell right away. He laughed about the opening face-off because face-offs are something he will have to get better at, and I could still win a face-off in the NHL, Jay. There's a little bit of experience involved with that specific skill. But the ability to move without the puck, it was pretty clear right away that when he's got the puck, he gets a ton of respect. When he was on the power play set up on the half wall, they were overplaying him like they play Ovechkin. Like Noel Acciari was right up out of position, overplaying an 18-year-old kid who hadn't played in the NHL. And so the reputation precedes him. He showed the release. He showed the ability to get the shot off and carry the puck through the neutral zone. But his movement away from the puck is what was most impressive, because that's the biggest adjustment, is the chess game of where all these good players are going and where this very young good player can figure it out. But overall, I think the fact that his team was as competitive as they were, because you're thinking, you know, they've added Corey Perry and they've added Nick Foligno and they've added Taylor Hall to help him. I think he's actually helping them and saying, wait a second, we've got some spirit in here. We're going to win some hockey games. And a great start for Chicago on all fronts. And what a start for them on the road, Jay. They go into Pittsburgh. Next, they go to Boston. Then they've got Montreal, then Toronto, then Colorado. Before he sees the United Center, those are the 5 games on the road. So they're not making it easy on Connor Bedard.
And Dave, you alluded to it. He actually has, of those games you mentioned, 3 of them are over the next 5 nights. So it's an intense schedule to start the season for him. What are you expecting from him over this next stretch before he does get back to the United Center? Do you think there'll be, will fatigue potentially be a factor?
It may, but I'll guarantee he hasn't flown on airplanes like this and stayed in hotels like this, Jay. He's going to like this. He might say, wait a second, I was getting on a bus after a game and I was busing for 6 hours.
Yep.
And so, he may say, I'm totally fine with this. And I think the emotion will carry him through this first segment of games. And there'll be a drop-off at some point, inevitably, over the first couple of weeks. But I think the energy and the enthusiasm and the adrenaline will keep him going through this first set of games.
Sidney Crosby also had an assist in his NHL debut. That was way back in 2005. Dave's going to hang out with us for just a little bit. Later in the show, we'll have insider trading, and then Dave will be my special guest for the always popular Insider Trading After Show. That's later on the show.